and welcome to the Boom Bap Kingdom. We're here and we're super chilling, and I hope you guys are chilling too. What spawned this conversation I'm about to have with you is a company recently reached out to me and asked me to do a review of that tool. They wanted me to take a look at their product and make a video on it, etc., etc. I was thinking about this, and I'm a bit conflicted with AI and music creation. Using that to create music is an interesting topic. But I started thinking about AI and music, and I started to think about all the technologies that promised to change music forever. Some did, but I thought this was interesting. One of the big impacts in music was the invention of the CD. When the CD was released, that was a big blow to the vinyl and cassette industry. But then the CD eventually lost to MP3s. And then MP3s eventually lost to streaming. And all of this I find very interesting. But what I also find interesting is the invention of sampling didn't destroy the careers of musicians. In fact, it actually probably aided a lot of musicians. When you look at Splice, some of those packs are created by actual studio musicians. So sampling, which was in its inception and advanced technology, it didn't get rid of musicians. Musicians are still working. When you look at the invention of the DAW, the digital audio workstation, whether that's Pro Tools, which was the first really big prevalent DAW, right? Was Pro Tools became that industry standard. You look at the invention of Pro Tools and then all of the DAWs that came after it, you would think like, wow, okay, yeah, this is the end of the multi-track tape era or the two-track tape era. But in fact, a lot of people, myself included, want that sound. We want the tape sound. Hence, tape is still a thing, up to the point where you have companies like RTM, ATR, producing high quality tape, reel-to-reel, cassette. When you look at these DAWs and you look at the tape and the DAW conversation, you have to factor in VST plugins. Most VST plugins do what? They actually are meant to emulate hardware. Mic preamps, EQs, compressors, limiters, etc. However, with DAWs and plugins being as prevalent as they are, that never stopped hardware manufacturers like Behringer, Warm Audio, etc. manufacturing mic pre's, EQs, limiters, compressors, etc. So where I'm going with this is when you look at the industry as a whole, I'm starting to believe that AI is not really going to replace anyone in the music creation or mixing mastering world. I believe it will be a tool that you and I, as producers, recording engineers, we will have to learn how to leverage that tool. If you look in my studio, it's a hybrid. There's analog gear and there's digital gear. I use both. I think the AI thing is a big conversation. I do believe that it will have an impact, but I don't think it will be total impact. And I don't think it will be the end all be all. The inventors of the CD thought that would be the end all be all until the MP3 came along. There are plenty of people who still listen to vinyl, who still buy vinyl. In fact, the resurgence of vinyl was responsible for a lot of the record sales that actually came about in 2025. That's why you could walk into a Walmart or a Target and you'll see a whole section of brand new vinyl. People will want authenticity. It will always be enough people to make going the extra mile to produce something authentic absolutely worth it. My ultimate conclusion here is yes, the technology is moving forward, but it's not moving forward in a way, in my opinion, that eliminates the tech that came before it. The one thing that I don't think AI can do, nor will it ever be able to do, is that soul component that goes into the music. When you listen to the jazz and the R&B and the soul records that were sampled back in the days, one of the reasons that the beats that were so dope that came from those samples was because those samples had real soul in them. This is why analog gear still exists. This is why vinyl still exists, tape, etc. What I really want to know from you guys is your thoughts on this. Do you think AI is really going to totally dominate the future of music production? Or do you see it the way I see it, where it's a tool to be leveraged? Get in those comments and let me know. And with that, I'll leave you with a BBK salute. Peace.